Hi, this is going to be a somber video. This is Debbie, back with Cheyenne Life. And last night at about 6:30 in the evening, we had gotten one of the worst hailstorms that I've ever had here in Cheyenne. And it pretty much killed everything that I have in the garden, except for my potatoes, which are really beaten up. I don't know if you can see the damage here, but if you look pretty closely, all of the leaves were knocked holes into, and a lot of leaves were knocked off. They're still alive. I don't know how much damage that the water did, because the water in the gardens was standing at about a foot deep. In fact, all over our yard, all over the cement, everywhere was standing in about a foot deep of water. So I definitely didn't have to water anything last night or this morning. We received 4 inches of rain in less than 2 hours and 3 inches of hail. The size of the hail per piece was about the size of a quarter, and it pretty much, the corn, I'll take you over there in just a moment, is pretty much gone. I'm going to have to replant everything except for the potatoes. The potatoes are just going to have to look ugly throughout the entire season, but they will rebound and probably bloom. They'll just be ugly for probably the rest of the growing season. I don't know if the potatoes in the ground will rot. Well, I guess we will find out. But it's too late to try to replant those. It's really too late to replant corn, but I'm going to try to replant corn anyway. I had this sort of destruction when I lived back in Tennessee with a cornfield that had gotten beaten down by a hailstorm and also the wind. It completely destroyed the corn then, and it was early July, and I had replanted at that point, and it all made it, and I actually got a harvest. So I'm going to go ahead and try, since we're only the second week in June, and try to get the corn to come back. It'll probably sprout a lot faster, given the fact that the temperatures are a lot higher, and the night temperatures are not as cool, so it will sprout faster than it did the first time around. And we should have corn, and I still actually had corn coming up in the back sections that are a little bit more shaded, so it should come back, and I'm hoping that it'll come back. But I lost all of my watermelon, all of my cantaloupes, all of my cucumbers, all of my peppers, pretty much everything that was in a container, because it was sitting in 3 inches of ice. What it didn't beat to death, it froze it with the ice, because the ice is still laying around in spots this morning. I tried to see last night after it had gotten dark how much damage that there was, and I couldn't really see. It was so bad, as far as the water and the ice, that the earthworms and night crawlers were just coming out of the ground like they were jumping out and just laying everywhere. I could have picked up buckets and buckets of earthworms and night crawlers that were trying to escape the water. And my tomatoes took a pretty hard hit. I'll show you what they look like. Fortunately, the tomatoes that were closest to the house seem to have survived with pretty minimal damage. And I have 1 container tomato left, because I had put it up against the house yesterday, and I guess the hail bounced off of the house. The gutters were not able to contain the water. It was so bad. So the house just has water all over it. And these tomatoes survived. These are the ox hearts, because they're also pretty close up against the house. And my artichokes survived also for the same reason. And it looks like my super sauce tomatoes might have made it. They've got a lot of damage. A lot of leaves were knocked off. But I don't know if they will survive, because they were sitting in 3 inches of ice. as well as having a lot of leaves knocked off of them. A couple of them look pretty sad. But it does definitely take the breath out of you when something like this happens, and then you have to try to rebound. I will have to probably go and buy some plants if I can find them. A lot of places are just out of plants already, and see if I can replace them. And it's really sad because all of these I had started from seed and tried to do my own seed this year, and got hit really hard with this hailstorm. And I had cucumbers all in this section. I have one remaining, and I don't know if it'll make it. And that was the older cucumber that I had. I had started some watermelon seed here, the Klondike watermelons that get ready in about 75 days. And I have one left. All the other ones got destroyed. And these are the cucumbers that I had picked up a new variety, and it just knocked every leaf off of them. They may rebound a little bit. I think there's one there that looks okay. And I had planted some cucumbers behind, day before yesterday. A whole row of 6 cucumbers there to run up the trellis in the back, and they're all gone, every single one of them. Of course, my roses made it because of the way the leaves are on roses. They kind of just don't pay any attention to hail. And it even knocked off the tops off of my asparagus that I was letting go to fern on a lot of them. It was absolutely insane last night. A lot of my onions, as you can see, the tops got broken off. They're just kind of laying there. I won't even show you my herb patch out next to our road because it destroyed everything in it. There's no squash. No squash at all is left. I have to replant all of it. And that's my peas. Those may rebound back, but I'm highly doubting it because they were getting to the point of where they could start blooming. This row of peas is completely gone. I have 5 beans that are left standing. So I will have to replant all of the beans there. It killed every pepper that I had planted in this section. All gone. They're just beaten into the ground. My cauliflower may rebound back, but it looks terrible. If it does, it'll probably have really weird heads, because when damage occurs to the center section of the cauliflower or cabbages, look like it did in the back with my cabbages. See, those were up against the house, but they didn't survive. They just got beaten like crazy. Then there will be damage to the actual heads on them. They will look funny. There will probably be some holes and things like that. All of my collards gone. All of my lettuce gone. It pretty much washed my leeks out last night. So all the leeks that were up are gone. I had some fennel in this section. I think I have one plant that might rebound back. The rest of them gone. My spinach, absolutely gone. This mesclun lettuce was beautiful and getting ready to be picked. I'm going to have to replant it. As you can see, it's just melted onto the ground. My broccoli survived. At least these 4. The ones in the back look terrible. And it's too late to try to plant broccoli seeds again and get them to the point of where I can set them outside. And I haven't seen any more broccoli plants anywhere. So This will be the 4 that I have. I had planted beets last night, or day before yesterday, between each one of the broccoli plants, and it just beat the tops off of them. They're gone. So I'll have to plant beets again, and this is the rutabaga patch. The rutabaga patch that had beautiful, almost a foot tall leaves. They may rebound. I'm going to leave them to see if they do. But they were just melted and beaten so badly. It just looks like a mess of melted leaves. The carrots are pretty much in the same shape. The carrots will probably rebound. The radishes are terrible. I'm going to have to rip those out and do them again. My parsley looks like it's the most unhappy parsley it ever was. And if you remember, it was absolutely beautiful. And it beat down even the old onions that had started to go to seed. It really disappoints you when you have something like this, but you either do it again, rebound, do the best that you can, and hope that it doesn't happen again, or you let something like this completely just knock you back. So even though it's been a setback, I will continue to try again. I had planted some backup jack-o'-lantern pumpkins here, just in case these older ones had not survived. I had one over there that looks like it'll survive. They had started to bloom over here, and it just beat all of the leaves off of them, so I'll have to pull those up and let the younger ones come on, and hopefully they'll make it. That one back there looks like that it may be okay. But let me show you some of the damage on even that one. If you look right here, it just shredded the vine. It looks terrible. And there you can see the younger ones that are coming on. They managed to survive all of that. I have no idea how, because they were sitting in 3 inches of ice. Fortunately, I had my mustard plants and my kohlrabi and stuff like that. I had just planted a couple days ago, so it will survive because it's a brassica. And as you can see, there's plenty of them in there. But I had also planted some beets here, and those beets are gone. So we take something like this and we don't let it knock us down completely, and we try again. I may end up with a season of just nothing but brassicas and lettuce and stuff like that. I will hope that the tomatoes will rebound and we'll have tomatoes. I hope that the potatoes don't rot in the ground. Hopefully they won't. We still have time for lettuce. We still have time for spinach. We still have time for fennel. We still have time for leeks, because leeks can overwinter if I don't get anything this season. But I definitely won't get any garlic, because the garlic that I did have was completely annihilated. And I'll have to restart the cucumbers and hope for the best. So we'll do what we can and see if that works out for us. So I wish everyone well. I hope you didn't get a hailstorm wherever you are. But that's what happens when you get hailstorms in Wyoming. And I had not had it destroy a garden this badly. And I've seen larger hail, but there was just so much hail this time. 3 inches of ice, over a foot of water standing in the garden. It was terrible last night. So I wish everyone well. Hope everything is good where you are. And let's do it again. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you want to see notices on new videos as they come out.